It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be something.
Yes.
The mood I've been in for like 2 weeks now because of all this shit.
Have we hit loopy stage?
Oh, I'm losing my fucking mind. I didn't see my first person other than Jason today till 3 o'clock.
Nice.
3 o'clock. And it was one of my best friends. He felt bad for me.
3 o'clock.
Yeah. He felt bad and came out.
Oh. Good for
Turn
him.
down the damn music,
Oh, it's
please.
time. It's time.
It's been time for a while.
I know.
Welcome to Two Beerded Guys. I am Books and Brews _ops guy. This is
Mudhog B&Q.
And with us today is our friend Shannon.
Hello.
As always, behind the scenes, behind the camera, it is off-screen Matt.
Hello. Hashtag up north.
Hashtag up north.
This bitch.
Today is Indiana Core Beer Night.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Obviously, there's a shit ton of breweries in East Central Indiana alone.
You mean we're going to drink a lot of beer?
We're going to drink a lot of beer. But we also didn't go completely overboard. We didn't try to get core beer from every Indiana brewery.
Just half of them.
No. We have 11 beers to drink tonight. It's, 10 beers and a cider.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start off with the cider, actually, from Kikiyanga Cider Company.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yep, Fort Wayne. Up north!
They actually follow and watch us?
They do. They're good guys. What's up, Tyler, if you end up watching later?
Yes.
But yeah, so we're really excited about this. Really? I have one brother who I hear from all the time and one I never hear from. The one I never hear from is actually calling me right now. But anyway, timing's everything. But yeah, so we got a lot of great beers today.
Big news if they didn't see on the Instagram. I don't know if we want to go to an hour later, but
you can tell it now.
no, we got our new logo. Shout out Grace, Tattoos by Grace.
Brimstone _Grace.
Yes, she got her our logo done. So if you go to our Instagram page and you can see it, and we got some stickers ordered already. We're looking at some other cool swag. So I should have planned ahead and had it on there so we could show it on the live cast.
We're live.
It's my bad.
We are live. Okay, there we go.
My bad. I should have been better prepared.
And I sent it to him really early today, so he could have been.
Yeah. My bad.
And that's where you got your mustache tattoos, right?
John.
Yes. Grace is the one who did our mustache tattoo.
Will you start pouring the cider? I
Yes.
gotta answer a text real quick. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Well,
So-
doing that, we actually have a pretty strong start already today.
Perfect. Go ahead.
We got East Slates on.
What's up, Aaron?
Seawick. T-Raz 818
Okay.
says it doesn't look like we're social distancing. That would be correct.
What's up, Tessa?
It's Tabio.
What's up,
What's up,
Tabby?
Tabby?
Brett Pittsford.
My brother Brett.
Sin
The one who
Bitbeer.
doesn't call.
No, the one who does call.
Okay.
Tab says she's patiently waiting for T-shirts.
Working on it.
And Cam asked about the logo, so he got his answer already.
Yes.
We'll send it over
We
to you,
need the
Cam, for the
car.
car. So yeah, we haven't forgot about you. We'll send it over for the car.
Oh, and I'm assuming this is Heavenly 607 that also just hopped on.
What's up, Heavenly?
Yeah, starting kind of strong.
Love it. Good for us. And guys, please interact with us. That's part of the fun of this. That's why we do it live. It's not just us drinking beer and giving reviews. We would like to interact with everybody.
That's a lot of it, though.
Well, it's a good chunk.
Yes. Yeah. So, once again, Kikiyanga Cider Company out of Fort Wayne. This is our Indiana Core Beer Night, but we decided since Kikiyanga does follow us and comment frequently that we'll start with one of their ciders. It is their crisp hard cider. According to the label, it is a sweet cider. So,
I've had some Kikiyanga ciders. The crisp is not one of them I got to try. But they were at Sample Indiana at McCordsville this year. And that's where I met them originally. So I got to try a little bit of their stuff. I liked the stuff I tried, so I'm excited to try this.
yeah, I am too.
Hard and sweet. Cheers.
That sounds naughty.
Huh.
While you guys are sniffing, since more people keep joining, I don't know what is going on here.
We're quarantined. They got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I know. It's what
Best
happens
thing to ever happen to our show.
4 weeks of house arrest. Everyone starts watching our show. B. Prezich.
Braden, what's up, bro? It's Pretch is his last name.
Okay, sorry I butchered that, my man. I know I hate when people do that to my name. Savage joined.
What's up,
Savage.
Savage?
And she
Yes,
says my
your
two
t-shirts.
favorite bearded guys. She always forgets that there's a third one-ish.
No, she has her two favorites, and then, well,
And then I'm
you're
just
here.
around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And maybe a name drop real quick. Tab says she's jealous of your hat that you wore last week and this week.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the Books and
dope
Brews hat out of, this one is out of Brownsburg.
Yeah.
It's a Brownsburg exclusive hat right now.
thank
Shout
you,
out Books and Brews franchisee Nick. He's come up with some really cool merch. They have some really cool sweatshirts and t-shirts on the way as well. He's working real hard to kind of break the mold on some of the merch stuff. So,
Yeah.
Shout out Nick out at Brooks and Brews Brownsburg.
So, as we get into this Kikionga beer, obviously you know Tyler, obviously you know John. Shannon is new to all of you, and Shannon is a beer professional. Number one, an industry professional for 20 plus years,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And you've opened up breweries before,
Yes, I have. Yep.
and worked at some well-known breweries in the state. So, yes.
Huge ones.
Yes.
So, well,
Yeah, huge ones.
how I met you was through Britain Tavern,
Yep.
and that's actually
She
how
was my bartender.
I love
How
how
I
she says
started.
huge ones and then how I met you.
Yes.
Instead of
Well, if it
how
wasn't for
I met
him, I
you,
wouldn't know you guys.
Is
But-
essentially Stimpy watching.
Ivana probably said she
Yeah.
probably would today, so.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got started in craft beer because I just saw what was coming in. And back then, that was probably like, what, less than 50 breweries around? You think?
Who knows? how
Early
many there are now.
2000s? Like, well, almost 2013.
Yeah.
No, there was a decent amount by 2013.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah.
Stay-
So excited to have you on and share your expertise.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank
Also
you for
just
having me.
We have to. 2 bottles down is on.
What's up, boys?
So that means gotta smash that like
Yeah.
button.
By the way, if you don't already follow us on YouTube, Twitch, anything like that, you gotta subscribe and smash that like button. Smash it! Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew,
And
pew.
Shuggy must be separate because he's on too.
Oh, and what's our record for hearts? Is it 20?
No, it was 200.
Yeah, we
that
had
one day.
200 hearts that
Let's
one
see
day.
if we can break this.
We
yeah.
really had someone like go crazy on that like button. So
I want people to smash
do it.
that like
Yeah,
button.
do
Let's
it.
go.
200.
Smash it.
Pretty high, people.
200. Let's go.
Because we were at like 19 and
Yeah,
Matt was
I-
making a big deal out of it. All of a sudden it was like 200. Oh, by the way, so guys, I know
much.
we actually need to speed up just a hair, but real quick, I boosted a post on Facebook for our Facebook page, which if you don't follow it, smash that like button. But the big thing is,
There was a pop-up
it's the
brown.
first time I've ever boosted a post. And so I boosted the Irish Pet Shop of Horrors video that our dear friend Grace told us.
Grace.
And and we have now reached over 100 likes on the video itself, like on the post.
Okay.
And we're at almost 200 views on
Nice.
YouTube on it.
Nice.
So by far our most viewed video.
For people who just want to drink beer with friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. So, anyway,
Thank
cider.
you all.
Yeah, thank you all. This would still be fun, but it wouldn't be nearly as much fun without y'all.
So I got some thoughts on this, but if Tyler, you want to go first?
So I was really excited for this. I don't like ciders. Anybody who knows my drinking habits, the cider is about as far away from it as possible. Kikionga, when I had their cider the first time, I really enjoyed it. I was looking forward to this. Meh. I highly recommend them as a cider company. Check out their stuff. But this is watered down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anything else really to say about it. Like, the flavor's there, but it's like somebody went, all right, I made a good cider, but I didn't make enough of it.
To me,
Somebody pour water in the barrel.
it's not carved up enough.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
I'm used to ciders that are going to be super bubbly, very effervescent, and it is not that. It's just it gets that watered down flavor because it's just not super bubbly.
That might be the main reason. Why
The other thing that, and I'm not going to dock it for this at all because the label clearly says sweet, but it's also a crisp cider, and oftentimes I associate crisp with dry, and so that throws me off a little bit.
It's got a little dry finish. I think, again, if it was carved up, you would get more of that finish.
Yeah.
You would get more, and it's definitely, and we noticed that with a couple other local beers recently, where it's just not carved enough.
Yeah.
We had a cucumber kolsch the other day that just wasn't carved enough.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, sometimes it's definitely, and ciders are difficult because they don't hold their carb very well anyways. But, yeah, no, it's the flavor's not bad.
Yeah, flavor's good.
It's just, it's just not enough. There's something that carb level's missing that. What about you,
think that
Shannon?
Yeah, Shannon, thoughts?
Okay, well, I'm spoiled because I started my ciders through 450 North. So,
They're
they're well
Gnarly
known for that.
Grove? Gnarly Grove?
Gnarly Grove.
Okay.
I just
What was the
had
ABV
so
of that?
many types, and even just their basic cider to me is amazing. It does have that sweetness. It has that pop at the end. And once again, like you said, it tastes a little watered down. Nothing against, I don't know the brewery here or that does the ciders, but.
Oh, don't worry. You can say what you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
We eviscerate people
All
on
I'm
the
going to
show
say is
sometimes.
I'm not going to finish this glass.
All right.
That's weird. I don't think anybody's not finished something here besides Tommy. Tommy kept opening beers
Is
and
it like wine
that's
tasting? Do we have a
because-
dump bucket?
no,
That's Tyler's glass.
yeah, pretty much. Except not during
All right,
this.
well, here
Not
we go.
during this.
Here you
I'll do this one.
Okay.
I do enjoy it.
No, it's not the beer. I'm just not drinking as much from people during
Gotcha.
COVID.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Except for
That's
Yeah,
probably
don't
a
touch
good
my
point.
glass.
except for Jake.
We're definitely inches away from each other, so.
But anyway, so
He can't
so
stand
I
that.
might hit you.
one thing that we do is we grade our drinks that we have. It's out of the 0 to 5 scale on Untapped, and it's in quarter increments. So you could say 3, 3.25, 3.5. Yeah, what's up, Matt?
Oh, I was gonna say before you get onto the grading scale, heck, you
Wait.
just joined. Gotta get my
What's up,
check that
Russell?
out soon. And Shuggy is asking how's the mouthfeel. So you're skipping over part of your rating quality.
Watery.
Yeah, it's watery.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason I didn't say it. Thanks, Shug.
And we didn't get off-screen Matt's
Well,
comments.
I'm just going over how we scale.
Sure.
So we grade everything on the quarter scales. 3 is the perfectly average beverage. 4 or higher is we're looking for that motherfucker.
Yeah, we're gonna search it out.
Under 3, you're starting to go below average, but we'll still drink it until you hit kind of that 2. 2 or less is where it's starting to go, okay, I'm not going to drink this. Under 1 is I'm avoiding this and we'll drink a motherfucking Hams before I have another one.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding it like Corona.
Yeah. My Corona. Sorry. But that's kind of our scale, that 3 being average. 4 seeking out.
2 is our drink if it's given to me.
Yeah, under 2 is we're gonna start. We don't like it. We'll try not to drink it. Under 1 is oh hell no. So Matt, go ahead and tell us what you think of the cider.
Well, I think you guys kind of really nailed it. I think the carbonation would be a big difference on it. If it's more carbed up, I think they can really save a lot of this because it does feel kind of flat towards the end.
Yeah.
And that really might give you more of that flavor, at least a more satisfying drink out of it. Flavor-wise, it's pretty decent. Like, it's not bad.
I like the flavor. It's just
I'll say it's sweeter than I would probably drink on a personal taste, but if you like the sweet, the flavor would be there just if that carb is there to kind of balance it out and give it a little more rounded out.
if you're ever in the Fort Wayne area, I do recommend Kikiyanga. They have a lot of good ciders. They have a peach one that's pretty good.
I'm gonna look for them as we go to different beer fests as we can start having them again.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and give my score first to
Okay.
kind of kick us off. I'm going to give the crisp a 2.5. I think it would have been a 3 if carved better.
That's my thinking as well. I'm also gonna go 2.5. Shannon, you don't feel pressure. You
one,
give it
a
an honest.
1.5.
Okay.
She felt no pressure.
Nope. She was going. All right. That's a 2 1/4.
2.25 is the Two Beerded Guys score for the Kikiyanga crisp.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we do it. So if you haven't watched before, that is how our scoring goes. We take the 3 average for the on-screen people. Last week, though, if you did watch, it was one of the few times we allowed Matt's score to count.
we didn't have a guest.
We didn't have a guess.
Yay for small victories.
Only one other time did his score count, and we had to, because our guest was a very big outlier, so we had a 4-person one that
We
day
had to fix that.
to fix the averages.
That was a much higher deviation.
That was whew. All right. So our next beer today is going to be Rad Brewing Company's Nattown Fit. It's a light cream ale at 4.2% ABV. One thing about the Rad Brewery cans, this one's not the easiest to see on camera, but they all have local, not all local, but they have different people and organizations on the cans. This one, for instance, has Nattown Fitness, which is a local gym. CrossFit gym in Indianapolis, and it has one of their athletes and has their Instagram handle. So we try to, Rad tries to give that shout out to different people, Instagram people, local people, all that kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
it's kind of cool that way. John, there's a can. I'll have this one.
Okay.
I'll get Matt's. You get you and Shannon.
Okay.
Now, is that just for the this style can only, or like
All of
or like
Rad's
all different with different?
all of Rad's cans will have different local groups or national groups, except for the Hoosier Classic series.
Okay.
Those have just random images, and we won't be changing that one as often. So that's like half cycle and post run.
Okay.
Those are consistent pictures we're going to keep. But all of these, we can change at any time. We do short runs on them, and if we decide it's time to switch to another group,
Yeah. It's cream ale.
it will be our only cream ale of the night. I'm kind of excited that we
Is
have
this
a
the
little
first
bit.
cream ale we've ever done?
We've done a blonde now. We've done a Kolsch. Done a Pilsner.
Ha.
Yeah, I think it is first cream ale.
Well, you guys taking your sip. Reem did join, and for his weekly check-in.
What's up,
What's
Reem?
up, Reem?
And by Reem.
We also got Beer Life Helen on.
Hey, her
Hey.
internet must be working.
Yeah.
For those of you, we get excited because Beer Life is one of our people who have been with us since the beginning. Helen is living in an area of full lockdown. They have a 7 p.m. curfew where she's at.
Oh.
What is that?
So she's in Puerto Rico.
Wow. Okay.
And they're doing a full 7 p.m. curfew. So she's losing her ever-loving mind. So follow her on Instagram. Send her, like, funny memes and shit. No dick pics.
No. Just funny memes.
Yeah. Oh, and if you do comment on her picture inappropriately, I will eviscerate you in front of everyone. I do it on a regular basis.
It's fun.
Yeah, I do. It's one of my hobbies is to go through her pictures and just lay into people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Good
Way
Beer
to
Fella
protect- way
also
to
just
protect.
joined, too.
What's up, good beer fella?
Good to see him back.
So anyway, the Naptown Fit.
Interesting.
It is a cream ale, so it's not like it's. And again, these are core beers. There's a reason they're the core beers. They're kind of those safe.
Mass appeal.
It's going to hit the most people where they go, oh yeah, I'll drink this again.
Because let's be honest, the beers that are going to get like the massive following, the beers that are going to be the higher ABVs, are the beers that are going to be more expensive.
Oh yeah,
Whether the Imperial Stouts, the big double and triple hopped IPAs.
they're expensive to make, so you can't make that a core
It
beer.
can't be a core beer.
So
Core beers, you can pair them with food as well. A lot
exactly,
easier.
you can cook with them. You can drink
like
them
you
while
should do.
cooking.
If you
You
want to
can.
eat. This could be your dinner.
So
It could be.
we don't expect anything to rate over the top
Yeah,
today.
I don't expect to have anything
But
that's going to be.
I also don't
forward.
expect out of Indiana anything to be under a 2.
No.
That's just my guess. I could be wrong. There's a
Could
few
be.
beers I've never had up here, and there's a couple I haven't had in a very long time.
Yeah.
So
Some might not surprise us.
I'm curious, but I think we should be in that like 225 to 375 at our up and down would be my guess. Again, I could be wrong.
Could be wrong. All right. You went first on that.
Yep, you're first this
All
time.
right. So,
We switched it up.
we did switch it up. This is the Cream Ale from Rad. It is kind of similar to the cider. It just needs more carbonation. It seems undercarb to me. I like the smell of it. The flavor, get a little bit of that corn sweetness in there from the Cream Ale, but it needs to be carved up more, and it's hurting because of that.
We're going to have a running theme of the day.
So far.
So far, it is.
We found a day's
Yeah.
theme. It's core beers and low carb day.
For me, it's John's right on the head. I don't like cream ales very well. This is one I can drink. We've actually had it as our chug beers back in the early days of this
Yeah,
show.
we did do that.
Bomb these ones.
Oh, yeah.
This is a beer you
Palate
could.
cleansers.
This is a beer you could sit outside in the sun and hammer a case of, and then stand up, walk inside, and go, "Ooh, I actually had a case of beer." Oh shit! But it's a good beer. But it's just this can.
Yeah.
We're judging based on the can right now.
Yeah,
and
this
it's,
can, this batch, and
it's a little undercarbed. What about you, Shannon?
Agreed. But at the same time, agree with Jonathan. I think it does have good flavor on the front. It's just on the end. It just fades away. If it just stayed there, that'd be awesome. And good beer to drink while you're cutting the grass.
Shannon, I'll go ahead and get you your score first.
I will give it 2.5.
I'm going to go 2 1/4.
I'm gonna give it a 2 1/4 as well. I think it's a 2753
Yeah.
correctly carved.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ding it for stuff like that.
It is a 2.25, so it's 2 1/4. Starting off strong tonight, boys.
Yeah, it's core beer night.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting a ton. We have to switch it up once in a while.
Matt, what were your thoughts on it?
Echoing again, like, you know, it needs more carb, but
Another watery mouthfeel, by the way.
flavor-wise, like, it's a little better than I thought. I'm normally cream ales, I'm kind of meh, you know, they just taste like Bud Light or whatever. I'd rather drink something like that and save the money, but now this did have a little more of that sweeter finish to it, so if you're looking for a cream ale, it's one of the better ones that I've tried out of, like, all 4 that I've had.
It's a cream ale I'm willing to drink outside of the brewery, especially like that lawnmower beer style. So if I'm not wanting just a Coors Light or Keystone, something like that for lawnmower beer, and I want just a little bit more, this is one I would drink.
Yeah.
And I don't like cream ale, so that's kind of...
If I open up someone's beer fridge and it's in there,
I'll have it.
chances are I'm going to grab it.
Yeah.
Oh, Shugi did throw out 2. He said he'll bring some more of that Alabama's Best IPA if we want to hit
Oh! Or you could just bring your Bourbon County Vert, you pansy.
Also waiting for that.
All right. So our next beer.
We're moving on from light beers.
So we're going to have this beer here, and then we'll probably talk to Shannon about some of the different breweries she's worked at as well. But we want to try to get like 3 beers in before we deviate too bad each time.
Because
Because she's pretty, you know, shy, so she needs to get loosened up, right?
That's it. Shannon needs all the help.
That's right, yeah.
And on this episode of Two Beerded Guys Tender,
I'm definitely going to have to mark this one not made for
That's why you
kids.
guys put me in the back.
Wait, don't give her any ideas. Jay, if you're watching.
Question.
Love
Sim Binbeard says that Sun King has vanilla orange cream ale. Is that a thing?
they do.
Yeah, that is a thing. That was an exclusive for Kroger stores and their tap rooms.
Really? I'd be willing to give that a crack. That sounds like
Yeah.
it could be alright.
So I just need to make it either to a tap room or Kroger's.
Oh, Chadwick knows where all the blood orange things are.
Yes, he does.
He might be a little obsessed with blood orange beers. Which, by the way, Chadwick, this is what I drank before the show. Thank you for
Thank
leaving
you.
me Blood Orange Blonde by 4 Day Ray. Another local brewery.
And Cash Ash just joined and said that look how small Shannon is.
Well, compared to us,
Yeah.
everyone's small. She just already starts that way.
There might also be an adjective of puny.
We make average people look small, and then we take small people and make them look tiny.
Would you happen to know who Cash Ash is?
Nope.
Yeah, that's your son.
Yay!
Yes.
Hi.
And he's
So we should
musician.
talk about...
My no.
What does going upstairs
Yeah,
to organize
quarantine.
mean?
What does going upstairs to organize mean?
We have a 3-level home.
And the upstairs needs a lot of organization. Yeah, that's where you store all your stuff.
All right. Okay. My son's away.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I love you.
There's space to store stuff in, and you got to organize it.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
So how about this new beer?
All right, so
let's make sure we know when Tyler's mom logs on.
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't missed one yet.
we're drinking Books and Brews, Clifford. It is the full name is Clifford, the Big Red Ale, but it is a Irish style red ale at 7.3%, 13 IBUs. On the can, I do like how it says everyone has a story about Clifford.
Yes.
Did I not have it tipped quite enough? I had it tipped.
Just the tip.
Just.
No, that's too much.
All right, well, whatever. Here's the can.
Too much,
white.
too much.
It's white. It's got black letters.
Yeah. So,
Nothing exciting. John's label horness doesn't appeal to that.
No.
but anyway,
There's one coming up later.
So this is one of those few core beers that's kind of different. Just because you don't get a lot of red core beers.
Right.
And especially not over 7%.
Right, that's 7%.
So it's got that little bit of bonus. It's got that little bit of ABV, but yet you go into the brewery to get the 6-pack or the growler, it's the same price as their cream ale.
Yeah, and that's, when we were talking about doing core beer night, I was a little scared because it's a lot of core beer, and then it was like, it's 4%ers, 5%ers, it'll be fine, but yeah, now if we got a bunch of Clifford and stuff,
Yeah. Well, I had to bring in Clifford.
It has always been one of my favorite books and brews ever, and if there's an OG Cliff where that kind of the original recipe, it's
the
one of my
non-mass
favorite.
produced.
Yeah.
The non-mass.
Yeah.
The old 3-pot system.
The nano brew batch Oh man, it's just a big malt bomb.
Nano Brewcliff was a true malt bomb in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
And it might be anywhere between 7 and like 10%. You never really knew.
Yeah, well, there's some truth to that.
Depends on how many mugs you had. Sometimes you could tell.
Well, sometimes you ordered a mug and Brian was sitting there going, just so you know, this is a little high this time.
So I never drank when Brian was there.
another
I could drink
undercarb beer.
guilt-free.
What's that?
It's another undercarb
Is
beer.
it undercarb?
A little bit.
I think you're just undercarb today.
Well, Clifford's never really that carby though either.
Most multi beers are.
That's true.
And fair, to be fair,
No,
To be
no, this one I'm not docking because of it, because multi beers typically are always going to be lower carb.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is one of
Yeah.
my favorites.
It's
but I've had this in the past many times.
it's malty, got a little bite.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some people call it a hot bite. It's not. It's just that little bit. It's a malt. It's a true malt bite. Anytime you have a maltier beer, there's different ways you can do it. And this one, that red, really.
You're getting a good blend of roast, and it doesn't have necessarily chocolate in there, but there's a little bit of
A nuttiness.
a little bit of a nuttiness, yeah, a little bit of sweetness in there.
Clifford always has a nice soft mouthfeel.
Yeah,
there it is.
There's.
right in my mouth.
Pow, right in the kisser.
If your son's still watching, I can give him a whole lot of stuff to work with.
I really like this beer.
She's regretted coming on the show.
Yeah, she's like, God damn it, what'd I do?
I thought I might blush a little bit on the show today. Just a little.
Well, with John and I, most people do. Except for Tessa, we couldn't get her to blush.
No,
But then again, I'm not sure she really gets embarrassed.
I don't know
But
if she understood it. Totally what we were saying anyway.
she was watching. I don't know if she still is or
And
not.
this is a good beer to cook with.
And
It
it's
is.
not
It's a good one.
It's a good cook with and a good one to drink while cooking
There you go.
Or while eating.
or while eating.
and that wasn't a knock on Tessa. We're
Oh, I know.
we're just out there and weird.
Yeah, we are.
So
So is she.
Well.
No, so
the
this
beers
beer-
we took together.
Like I said, soft mouthfeel, very malty, a little bit of a bite, high ABV. That's always a nice little bonus on a core beer.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
yeah, it gave my thoughts on it earlier. Nice blend of some roastedness, some maltiness, a little bit of sweetness in there. Probably is slightly under carb, but a little bit more acceptable for the style. I enjoy Cliff.
And
or-
one thing I'd
yeah.
like to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was actually getting ready to say Shannon. Go
Well,
ahead.
it's. I love that it's a red, but it's not heavy. So even for a woman like to drink it, I can have multiple of these. Like,
It's a lighter body.
Like-
And then you fall down.
well, the ABV is a little bit higher.
Only when you get them in those 24
I'll
ounce
definitely eat some
apparatus.
food with it.
Yes.
My 33 ouncer.
Oh.
I'm gonna give it a 3.25.
Now this batch, I'm going to go with 3. Normally I would give it a little bit more, but
That's fair.
this batch I'm a 3.
Wait, what's the highest you can go?
Well, 5, but that's
Oh, okay. Well, no.
We've only done like 1.5.
no. We have never done a 5. Tessa randomly.
Tessa.
I would do a 3.5.
Tessa randomly threw out a 5, and that's why your score started counting as well.
That's a 3 1/4.
Sounds good. The Two Beerded Guys score is a 3 1/4. Matt, do you have anything about this beer that you want to throw out there?
One of my favorite Books and Brews beers. I don't know, not to trash Books and Brews. I'm not a big fan of most of their staple beers, but this is the one I go and I know I can drink every time, and I always enjoy it. I like a lot of their seasonal stuff, and this is the one that's always there that I know that I can drink, so I very much enjoy it. I would go like a 3.5, just because
Nice.
I don't want to say 3 1/4 on this batch, but knowing it as I do, 3.5 is a very fair number. And Brett made a good observation. There was the word nutty and then soft mouthfeel very shortly after.
That was me. Darn it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully Cash Ash.
Yes.
Cash Ash has logged off.
Hey, Cash, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Cash, if you're still watching, comment so we know.
And Cash, we can't have you on the show because you can't drink yet, officially, legally. But
You
make
can't
us
drink yet.
make us a song.
Yeah.
We'll feature it.
We'll
Also,
play it.
Quick, just shout to the people watching. If we're jacked up on the audio again, please someone say something early on. I think we got it fixed from last week, and it sounds good to me. But if we sound off, someone speak up, please. That we don't go an hour and a half instead of.
And on that
Right, when
note,
we're
I'm going
almost
to
done.
actually text my brother and since he's watching.
Gotcha. Yes, we didn't mess with it from last week to this week unless John did something and didn't tell me. So
No, I left it the same settings as we ended last week.
yeah.
All right.
And from what we know, it
You guys are
ended.
drinking faster than me. Hold on.
No, you're
Let
good.
me check
We
my-
still got some
let me
talking
check
to
my
do.
beer.
We still got some talking to
Yeah.
do.
Well, yeah, this is actually her time to start talking anyway,
Yeah,
right?
this
So-
is time to talk.
Perfect time.
We're just pouring, getting ready.
Yep.
So this beer here is going to be the Rad Gaelic. It is a dry Irish stout. This one's actually one of my favorite cans they made. When John's done pouring, I'll use his to kind of
Yeah.
show. It is a dry Irish stout, 5%. It's a true core beer. It's that lower ABV, just easy drinking beers is what the goal is on most cores. Not Coors, but cores. Coors.
Take the big portion.
Please.
The can's real cool on this
Don't-
one.
You can start
What a
drinking.
gentleman.
It has the Gaelic Athletic Association. It's the NDGAA here out of Indianapolis is what's on the can, which is kind of cool. They're actually really cool fucking dudes too, and gals. I've met a lot of them. We had a really good time at the launch party at Rad, hitting hurling sticks into the baseball net, all sorts of stuff. It was a fun time,
It was a fun time.
especially as we all started drinking
Yes.
very heavily.
So, we also teased them. We said Shannon would get a chance to talk a little bit.
Oh no,
about- Okay.
we're
Fine.
I was
Yeah.
pouring and talking beer until
Yeah.
she was ready.
So,
I'm ready.
Ask some brewery questions, Jonathan.
Wait, am I supposed to talk about this beer now?
No, dear.
no.
This is
Your
Oh, wait.
brewing experience.
Okay. All right. So just a little history about me. So I brought up Written Tavern because that was the very first time I actually started paying attention to craft beer. And because I worked during the day and dealt with a lot of business guys, I would have to like really know my shit if I wanted to make money. So that's what I did. And then my next job after that, I got a chance to learn about the Cicerone. Didn't even know about that. Didn't know it existed.
Is that like a gangster thing?
Cicerone
it's,
is
a gang, it's a gang in
Cicerone
Chicago.
is essentially the sommelier
Cicerone.
of beer.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. That makes much more sense.
So
thought
when
I'd be afraid of
I
you
worked
more.
at Boom Boss, they actually paid for us to take the class.
So you have your sister on?
Yes.
The level 1?
Just a level 1, yeah.
Okay. So you learn all about glass
Use your
glass
words.
cleanliness.
Yes.
That was hard to say. Why was that hard to say?
Yes, and
don't
I
know.
didn't even know that until I took the class. And then the best places of your see, I know it looks not sanitary, I think sometimes, like when they have the 3 sinks. That is the best way to wash a glass, just to let you know. So you get the lacing on the glass. So when you actually drink it and you can see it like cling to it, that means your glass is clean. So
One of my favorite moments with Shannon, she came out, I was working at Books and Brew South Indy by myself, and I asked if she would come out and help me, and she volunteered, came out, and we spent all night fucking cleaning glasses.
yes, we did.
And we were just like, look at this, there's lacing on that glass.
Yes. So every time we
was
saw
so good.
someone drink a beer and you saw it clinging to the side of the glass, you're like, lacing! But you know, that's
Yeah,
just
it was
Beer nerd.
yeah,
beer nerds.
That's some epic beer nerd stuff right there.
yeah, we bonded over lacing
Yes.
on beer glasses.
I
But
love
if
it.
I think if it wasn't for the experience of doing the whole Cicerone and just getting that education, I wouldn't have opened up the brewery in Riverfront, which I'm sure it's still there in Shelbyville.
Yep.
But I was the one to help, like, get that place going. So there's a lot of stories behind that. I won't say it on camera.
Yeah, fair enough.
Positive, definitely
It
learned
is,
experience, and it got me to 450 North because they actually are family, both sides.
Yep.
So, yeah, and then I came.
Did you ever work any of the slushy releases at 450?
I did not.
But
Oh,
we
are you
did
talking about the slushy?
at 450.
Yes, I have.
Like the craziness where they
yes,
camp out
with the
overnight.
berries and the. Yeah, but then it was more just the corn maze is how I learned more about it.
The Corn Maze Beer Fest is one of my favorite events.
Yes.
As
Oh
long
my
So much
gosh,
fun.
and I
dreadfully
was
hot.
I got to see it like grow, and that
I
was
went.
really,
I went
that
the
was really
first.
fun.
I went the first year. And I haven't had a chance to make it back since. But that first
went the
year,
second year.
when it was
did.
when they,
That's
I
Was
went,
it 2 cherries or 3 cherries?
I went
Three
the
cherries.
first year when it was actually kind of a little bit of a shit show because it was bigger than they expected.
Exactly. They
But it
did
was
not
still a
have any
fucking
idea.
blast.
I mean, you wouldn't even understand. Like when that
Well,
when that corn maze ends that day, within the next week, they're already on the next corn maze because
yeah.
there's so much that goes into it.
It is the biggest
and it keeps
beer
growing.
festival in the state.
Keeps
Yeah.
growing.
Bigger than the bigger than Microbrewers Fest.
It passed the one at Military Park over summer and over Winterfest.
And
Is
now
that,
they
like,
have
attendance or,
camping.
Like,
Attendance.
people
Attendance
showing
and
it, or,
number
like,
of
facilities?
breweries participating even.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
it's
90 plus this
I
year.
mean, I've been there like
Yeah.
once or twice, and I remember it being pretty big. I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, this year
Oh,
they
yeah.
had like, or this past one, they had like 90 breweries.
It's just 'cause they're going outside the spectrum of Indiana and bringing
Yeah.
other places.
They bring everything.
Yeah.
That is, half of Indiana shows up to it for the breweries, of the bigger ones, and then a lot of outside the state.
Yeah.
And they organize it very well, and also if
After the
people
first
didn't know
year.
this too, they give back to the community,
They
which
do.
is great. So.
And I will say this: I did volunteer that one year, and like literally,
Great story.
I'm not going to quite get into Three
That's
Cherries yet. We'll get
terrifying.
into
Oh,
Three
gosh,
Cherries in a
okay.
little bit, but I wanted to give kudos to Grandma
I know.
because literally, the matriarch of the family, she and I are. If you bought this package, you got the crowler
Yep.
of the special beer, and she and I are just tearing down these crowlers, these pallets of these
Pallets.
crowlers, and giving them to people. And I took more breaks than she did. Like she was killing it.
Everything I've heard from people that do the every 3-week Friday releases and shit like that, that woman is a badass.
Yeah,
Grandma's out there labeling the cans.
Yes, Grandma's
those-
amazing.
yeah.
Everything I've heard about her is she's a badass that works harder than almost anyone.
I don't think she sleeps.
That's kind of what I've heard.
If you go to 450, she's oftentimes the one doing the wine tastings.
Yes.
Yep.
Great lady, awesome.
So anyway, we'll move on just a hair, and then we'll come back to some more Shannon and John and everything else.
Shannon.
I love story times. Oh, you guys have more stories. I know you too.
Well, we did. Yeah.
So we'll come back to some more story time here in a little bit.
So,
This one here, like I said, is the Gaelic Dry Irish Stout by Rad Brewing Company. Rad's the only one that we decided to do 2 beers from. The main reason is we wanted to have an extra stout for off-screen Matt.
Yep.
And they were the only ones that we had a cream ale for today, and so we wanted to have that little bit of
We wanted
different.
to have a lighter beer.
So we wanted to switch it up just a hair here and there. So they're going to be the only one with 2. I'm kind of excited. Gaelic is one of my favorite crushable stouts right now.
Smells really good.
have they done a barrel on this?
No.
It just was. This beer's
That'd be
not
a-
that old.
You haven't tried it
in
yet?
general. So,
This would be good barrel for sure.
I don't know if the body's strong enough to support a barrel age.
Strong point.
fresh barrel it would.
Maybe.
It had to be a fresh barrel.
And I would want an Imperial Gaelic.
Ooh, an Imperial Gaelic sounds stupid good.
Yeah.
That does.
I would take a Imperial Gaelic and then I would barrel age.
I love how Matt's like, ooh.
Because remember, this is like 5%.
That would be you stay
Oh, yeah.
you stay where you drink that.
An Imperial Gaelic barrel aged.
Anything imperial.
All right, so things I'm going to talk to Jason about tomorrow. Sorry, guys.
Man, that's like... Yes, Imperial Gaelic.
I would say I was expecting like a very Guinness, kind of flavored beer on this. That dry Irish where it's not super flavorful. Stuff is like brown water. Like this actually has some flavor.
This is
to
very
it.
flavorful.
Yeah, the roast.
I'm kind of impressed actually.
This beer was recipe came up with by Kyle
Kyle
Froning.
Froning. Great dude. One of
Shout
my
out
favorites.
Kyle.
Yeah, shout
Go,
out Kyle. He was the head brewer at Rad and Books and Brews during this time when we created this beer. We were like, hey, we want to do this style.
And I feel like this style is his wheelhouse.
Oh, he nailed this.
He likes
Ultimate,
porters,
the
he
Blood
likes-
Orange IPA. He nailed. He's had a few that while he was there, he wasn't there a long, long time, but while he was there, he nailed a handful of recipes. And just this one here is,
Yeah.
like I said, it's crushable. It's a 5% stout, but it's a 5% stout with flavor, but isn't over the top heavy.
Yeah.
So you're not
100%.
getting dry Irish stout. It shouldn't be that heavy, and it's not. It's an easy drinking. You can have 3 or 4 of these and not feel like you're like, ugh. It's got a nice roast malt.
Yeah, it's not burnt.
No.
It's a little bit toast, but not burnt.
And it smells
Great
amazing.
roast. It smells amazing.
I want a candle like this.
This is there you go.
My son for that too.
Gaelic
I like
candle.
a candle of this in my
Keep
living
talking,
room.
Shannon.
Yes.
Tyler's getting a raise.
Are you now?
Tyler, we're gonna
All
eat
by
some-
myself.
We're gonna eat some soy wax, and we're gonna put that in there.
We'll just keep coming up with ideas.
Okay.
I'll make money off your ideas. It's
There you
fine.
go.
Isn't that how everybody makes money these days?
Yeah.
You just steal somebody's idea.
You get somebody else drunk, listen to their ideas, and
Let's go.
Allegedly, that's the third bomb.
Hey, how many hearts are we up to? Do we know?
A whopping 1. No one took the challenge very seriously.
Oh my gosh.
all right, seriously, guys.
Alright,
damn it,
guys, here
people.
I need you to
I
hit
need
some
you to,
likes
hey,
and some
I need
hearts.
you to smash that like button.
Oh, yay.
Let's go. So
We did make a
disappointed.
much bigger stink about it last time, so.
So disappointed. I forgot about it, but
Yeah, I totally did too.
I'm not now.
So, Shannon, you got any
Out
other
to-
notes
we're
on
I'm
this?
watching you. Let's do this.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Definitely with the flavoring, and my biggest thing is, like I said, I love the freaking smell.
Yeah, 100%.
The smell's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just
It smells like coffee without tasting like coffee.
exactly.
I mean, it's a good, solid
And
dry
it's
Irish
light.
stout.
It's not heavy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless we win Imperial. I really want an Imperial Gaelic.
Yeah, now I really want one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens. You start talking about it.
Fuck.
It's not-
All right, so we
You don't look on
we
your shelf over
really
there.
we really
Right.
should try to get through one more after this. So let's go ahead
Okay.
and grade this one out.
Okay. Shannon, you want to go first?
I would love to give this one a 5.
Are you?
God damn it!
4. 4.5.
You go 4.5.
But I'm not kidding though. This is like so far what we've had. This is the best.
But no, you're not comparing it to what we've had.
well,
Like 5's like the best beer you
but
ever
out
fucking
of
had.
okay. out
5
of-
is when you
out of
leave here, you're
stouts-
gonna go try to buy it tonight.
Yes, out of stouts, I would definitely go like to my local. I live in Irvington area, so
We have beer in that liquor store.
yeah, I would
Stoney's.
definitely ask
Yeah.
them like,
So
hey,
yeah, like the 4 was
which
at
is
least
right
you
across
go
the street
search
from
that
my
out.
favorite Syrian restaurant. So that's my
So where you at?
neighborhood.
Where you
I
at?
don't
On
think that's the 4.
4.5.
4.5?
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta hold back because there's a lot more to come.
Well, and again, you're not
4.5.
comparing it to.
I
what's-
know, but I'm just saying against.
Although in fairness, if we're talking core beer night, and this is a core beer,
But you're
that
still
you can
basing
like it that
you're still
much.
basing the rating on
I'm
the beer
messing.
itself.
I'm messing up the rules right now.
No, you're
She,
good.
no. She's the point being is she is going to search this out.
All
I
right,
will.
so Matt,
I
your
will
score
look
now.
for the-
You know how bad you mess up is when my vote starts counting. Until then, you're still good.
Because now that I read it, it's a dry Irish.
Now that you read it, I said
There
it
is-
like
no,
6 times.
No, but I'm looking at it right now. But there's nothing dry about Irish. So, because Irish is pretty badass.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think I went away from talking about beer.
I'm just really confused.
'Cause my
But
name
we
is
got,
Shannon.
we gotta.
My name is Shannon.
We gotta
so
continue.
Irish. See?
John, you first.
I'm gonna go 3.5. It's a really great solid beer. I don't normally search out stouts, or especially dry Irish stouts.
I was like, you
I
definitely
search out
search
Imperial
stouts.
stouts.
I don't usually search
Like-
out stouts.
like-
Bullshit.
You make this an Imperial, then I will probably search this out.
I got it written down. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, so
Tyler
for a
knows
dry
about it.
Irish stout, 5%er, like it's a damn good solid beer. There's nothing I dislike about it at all. So I'm at 3.5.
So before I get my score, I do have a question. Did
Okay.
you order drink?
I did not yet. I can do it right now.
Like purple drink? Or what?
It's
Orange
orange
drink.
drink.
Oh, wasn't far
From
off.
Savor.
It's from a brewery in Wisconsin. Anyway,
Nice.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 as well.
Okay. So let's take a look. 4.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5 divided by 3.
3.75.
Yes, 375.
Ooh boy.
Yeah, it's probably. Oh, I really feel like we
That is a good
underrated Top and Goliath's morning latte. That shit's good. Like I want to go back and rate
Let me check
that. Did we do it last week?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I think
shit's
it's got like
good.
4 1/4, and he's like drastically underrated.
We underrated it.
How did we want
It's
to
better
go?
than a 4 1/4. It's fucking good.
I
It was
gave
really
it.
good,
I
though.
gave it less than a 4 1/4.
Yeah,
I
you're
was.
wrong.
I was half the reason it not knocked down.
Yeah, that
That
shit's
sounds about
good.
right. I think John and I were pretty big proponents.
You
of
gave it a 4 even.
Really? Oh,
And John gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's at least a 4.5.
And if I remember right, you gave it like a 4 or 4 1/4. You
Orange-
might have given it a 4 1/4,
But
and
4
I
4
gave it
4
like a
1/2 is what I
4.
thought was, right
I think I
up
gave it a
there.
4.
Yeah, I
It
feel
is
like
too
you
late to get
underrated
orange
it.
drink. It's gone.
You motherfucker.
The orange drink is
Oh my
gone.
God,
You
just fucked up.
motherfucker.
Oh god damn it.
Where's this
We
out
have
of?
blueberry muffin.
No, I don't want the blueberry muffin in its wait list.
We want orange drink, John.
Orange drink is gone.
Mostly because it literally is
Oh,
called
do you not know
orange
about
drink.
Savor?
That's racist
No.
as shit.
Okay, so Tabor needs to maybe sponsor us.
That's where we get most of our beer.
We do. I spend a lot of money on Tabor.
Hey, I've been spending a
they
lot of
get
money
beers-
on like logos and
You
stickers.
have. It's fine. I'm not complaining.
Dick.
But they have beers from all across the country, and that they order,
Finish your
and
beer.
then they send it to you, and so
And
like
then you drink them.
and it's delicious. But the problem is, as soon
Wait, so
as
do
I
they source
go,
out to different breweries and then send it to you?
yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is, as soon as you add it to your cart, they charge you.
Drink it.
So,
Well, that way I guess you can't sit on beers in your cart forever and keep them from other people.
which
At
I
the same
get.
point.
I get
Well,
why they do
the
it.
If you,
question
if you had
is,
an
how's
orange
the
drank in
quality
your
of the
cart for
beer?
the last week,
It's
I'm
they
probably
only
pretty
bring
good.
in pretty good quality.
Okay,
beer.
and they give it to you quickly, right?
What happens is you get you pack your crate,
Okay.
and no matter how many beers in your crate, shipping cost is the same.
Okay.
So if I get one beer or I get 300 beers, it's going to be like $15 for shipping.
Okay.
for 300 beers?
Yes.
Technically, no matter how much you order, it's that
Are
flat
they going to bring you a
price.
flat of beer?
They probably would.
Probably would, yeah. So
Now, the rarer beers, they will
But
limit,
it's
like, sometimes.
but there's breweries like Fremont Brewing out of Seattle. I love. They don't distribute here.
Yeah.
There are times I can get it from them.
Okay.
Uh,
But
we
the
need to-
distributing laws, though? We're not going to talk about laws.
What? No, they have a permit. They're fine.
Well, yeah, so they're saying, like, there's breweries have to have that.
No, it's
So
not
they
the
can
brewery.
send it.
Tabor has.
So they can
They
just,
sell.
they can just take
They just sell beer to
anybody's-
Tabor, and Tabor takes care of that because
Okay.
their permit allows them to ship everywhere.
I see, okay.
So and we are rushing because it's 7:47. We got about
Yeah, we
13
got about
minutes
10 minutes to
left.
slam this down, and just
Holy
as I
shit.
got
What are we
real
drinking?
quick. Beer Life
Before the
Ellen
hour
says
two.
she's having serious internet issues. She's going to crawl back under her quarantine covers.
Oh,
so sad.
That's sad, but it's funny. to put it.
You cannot
right.
hide this. This is my favorite.
I-
One of my
I
favorite
wasn't-
Wow, the
labels
label is beautiful.
ever. I'm a label whore.
guys.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
We're
this
talking about the
is
beer.
Let him talk.
18th Street's Hunter. John, what kind of? Where the hell is it?
It's 18th Street.
It's a
18th
double
Street is in the region.
double milk stout.
It's up north.
Up north.
I was talking about what kind of beer it was, but
Oh.
yeah, it's a double milk stout brewed with lactose, sugar, and cocoa nibs.
18th Street primarily does a lot of IPAs, but this is considered one of their core beers. And I knew that we were gonna have a lot of IPAs, so I went for 18th Street. I went with the stout.
I'll scream Matt appreciates that.
Yep.
So the can is pretty fucking
It's
badass.
beautiful.
Matt and I just worked together to make sure people saw it.
Awesome.
They always have awesome label art on everything they
Yeah,
do.
18th Street pays a lot of money
He's
to
the
whoever
hunter.
does
That's
their.
the hunter.
And it is a label that they stick on there, so I can pill it and I can stick it to my beer fridge, and I am going to do that because
Shocker.
it's badass.
Wow.
All right, so
Badass.
let's go ahead and see what
Who's
this bad
ready?
boy's like.
No,
This is just out of one.
I didn't smell anything.
What
little
was the
sweetness out of
percentage
it.
on that one, Tyler? Did you say?
What'd you say?
What's
Oh, as soon as it
ABV?
hits your tongue, yes.
Can't fucking find it.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
They normally don't put ABV and stuff on there.
8-ish.
But look, that's like, it changes.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I can look it
It's
up on my
sweet at
phone
the
real quick.
beginning,
Yeah.
And then you get like, hold on.
Get some chocolate and roast.
I got it already up
Oh,
almost.
okay.
Yeah, it's sweet at the beginning.
I
and
have,
roast
I have
in the middle.
Untapped as like one of the very first things I can click.
And it's a double.
The Hunter by 18th Street is an 8% stout.
Most
Ooh,
I think start about
8%.
8 usually, yeah.
Someone call me an Uber.
You're an
Yeah.
Uber.
Oh, that was a great lead-in to our
my
Bad
gosh,
Dad
you're so
Brewery. Right, it's our Bad Dad Brewery lead-in. I
We're
love
not there
it.
yet, damn it.
I know.
Oh, Matt.
Bad timing, but great lead-in.
Oh, that wasn't very loud at all.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Let's do it. All right.
We need to get him a real soundboard
do,
that he
we
has
do.
buttons. Actually, let's be honest. We're going to upgrade the camera before we upgrade a soundboard.
We'll upgrade the camera first.
Which I do have a few to show you today.
Okay.
I've
Take
been
a look
looking
at it.
Brett has a great comment. Tyler
Oh,
gets
God.
cranky when he doesn't get to talk for a while. Something hasn't changed.
All right, you
Heck,
guys
this
like
is bouncing real
the
quick,
you like
too.
the logo
Later,
and shit?
Heckibus.
What's up?
Heckibus is bouncing. Gotta say peace.
Later,
Hey,
bud.
good luck, bud.
Hey guys, not today because you're watching us, but Tuesdays through Fridays, make sure you tune in to the Nightcap on Turfs Up Radio to listen to Heckibus and basically make fun of him like we do when we listen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But no, it's actually a pretty cool show. He listens to the kind of music
He's
bounces.
eclectic, yeah.
He's a country guy. He grew up in country music, but it's funny. He'll only play like a couple country songs, and then he'll play 80s hair metal, and then he'll play hip hop. He's all over the place.
I like it. He does a great job.
Stop.
Jonathan, you or Shannon? Who's starting us off? Shannon is.
I'll go. Give you this a little.
Well, go ahead because
Okay.
Not score. I just want to hear about the beer.
So I can't help but compare a little bit to the Gaelic. Not as strong aromas as the Gaelic. Really great job on
Which is very important in beer.
It is. Aroma is a big part of the smell. Is a big part of what we taste.
Olfactory.
Olfactory.
Put those $5 words away.
it's that sensory, like your mind smells it and then you taste it. So with this one, I didn't know.
That's
what
why when
I
you
was
have a cold,
gonna
you
taste,
can't
but then
taste
when I tasted
anything.
it, it was sweet.
We talk about the same thing here?
All right, continue.
Oh my lord.
Right.
Beer.
Yeah, right?
It's got a good
What you
sweetness
guys
to it.
talking about?
It is not too viscous, but there's a little bit of viscosity to it, or viscosity. Just making words up.
He usually does.
Viscuity.
Viscosity up north. It's not burnt at all. Oftentimes with stouts you can get a burnt flavor, and it's not. You get a good sweetness. Starts sweet, finishes roasty.
And it's smooth.
Yeah, it is smooth. It's not a super. It would probably be a medium body, a heavier body than the Gaelic is, but it's not super thick. It's not a super thick black body.
This would be a good one just to sip on, like while you're watching some Netflix right now during quarantine.
I'm gonna disagree with John just a hair on a couple things.
I'm gonna say me.
No, there definitely is a little sweetness in the beginning, but at the end I'm getting more of a kind of a dark chocolate bitterness.
Okay.
So you said a little more,
Like
a little roasty, but not burnt. I'm getting a little burnt. I'm getting a little bit of that dark chocolate, and that's the problem with dark chocolate is it can make your malts taste a little more burnt. It can make them just because dark chocolate's more of a bitter chocolate. That's the point of it, which I love. So I'm not actually docking this. This is actually more up my alley because of it. But I am getting a little bit of that. I'm getting a little bit of a bitter mouthfeel because of it. Now, don't let that turn you off because I think it's a fucking fantastic beer.
Yeah.
And John's heard my opinions on 18th Street. Normally, I kind of bash him in general.
Why is that?
This one, we're not getting into that, but it's just,
okay.
I just don't know. It's just, I'm not a huge fan of their beer.
Because they're too big.
No. But I'm really enjoying this beer. I think it's very, for 8%, it doesn't drink like it.
It's comforting.
I could smash this in a heartbeat and
Yeah.
you'd end up real drunk after a couple of them. But it's a tasty beer. What about you, Shannon?
I wouldn't smash it. I would definitely sip it slowly and enjoy every flavor that it gives.
Ooh,
For the
that's
record.
a little
Say it one more
sensual.
time.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can go an hour or two and keep talking like that.
Hey, all you cats and kittens.
Yeah.
And I love 18th Street. Every time I go to a beer show, I have to go see what they have.
Have you guys been to the new tap room in Indy? I've not
I
either.
haven't yet.
Well, we can't now.
Womp womp. Oh, I got that one too.
Fuckers.
See, that's why he needs a soundboard.
There you go.
John, grade it.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
Shannon, grade it.
4. Oh, he's so mad.
No. No, I'm not mad at all.
You can go 4. You know you want to go 4.
No, I'm going to give it 3.25.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. Hey Zeus. 3.5.
The guy plays baseball?
It's really good. It's not a beer I would steer away from at all. That's probably the highest I've ever rated an 18th Street beer. And this is, you said this is one of their core beers, right?
Yeah, they always have the Hunter.
That gives me a reason to go check out the tap room once quarantine's over.
And that's what
If this is a beer they always have, this gives me a reason to go to their tap room because I'll try a flight. I'll figure out if there's anything else I like, and if there isn't, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, and I need a pint of that motherfucker right
There
there.
you go.
and that's why I want to do the core beer. I thought it'd be fun because some were going to we chose a core beer from 18th Street that most people probably aren't super familiar with, but it is a core beer. It's always available. It's on every shelf I see. and it's a solid beer.
I'm excited.
I feel
And
like
I think
18th Street's known more for IPAs than.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Shannon.
They have 108 different IPAs.
That's insane.
But every time I've had a stout from them, it's always been very good. So I'm glad to see they have that as a staple beer.
I am gonna have to cut ourselves off a little bit.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's good.
We're right there at
Not for
the hour
drinking. We're
mark.
drink
After these
again.
episodes,
We do have 5 beers left tonight.
I just keep looking
People like that. Actually, we had a lot of comments about people
Oh,
and the faces they
engaging.
made.
especially
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
Savage.
Oh, all you guys need to like, look at my eyes. They might get a little like.
But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the first hour. We, as always, have our second hour. We will start here very shortly.
Shannon's still here.
I am Books and Brews _Ops guy.
The dog being Q.
Our guest today is Shannon. Behind the camera is.
I'll say
Shannon.
Matt, who gives that last
And
guess
Matt.
as he wasn't asked, a 375.
Oh!
And we are Two Beerded Guys.
Come back for hour 2.
Yeah, come back.